during fight week? How has it changed? I mean, he always seemed very jovial. He clearly is a guy who loves what he does. But you do wonder, like, if, all of those title defenses, the pressure started mounting up. Now it seems like he really is truly in a great spot. He looks loose. Have you noticed that at all? Is there any change in Anderson now than maybe, 5 years ago when he was defending the title over and over again?
Is there any change in him as far as his abilities or his personality, and his attitude toward fighting?
Yeah, just his personality. And then, even bringing up a separate point, when he fought Nick Diaz, I remember the press conference that night, he was saying that, maybe he would have to consider walking away, that he had to talk to his family. It just seems like now he's in a great spot. Like I said, he mentioned that he wants to continue fighting for 6 or 7 years. It almost feels like he's found his second wind in some ways. I mean, I guess, have you picked that up at all being around him?
Yeah, well, no, he talks about it all the time. He says, this is what I love to do. I love going into the gym and trying to, I'm a martial artist. I love trying to be better than I was yesterday. And, that's his philosophy. And he loves to fight, man. It's just, I don't know. I think what you have to do in a case like his is take it, fight by fight. He's going to fight a young, really tough guy who hits hard, has knockout power on both hands, has great wrestling. We're going to find out, how good Anderson looks against this guy on Saturday night, and you take it on a fight by fight basis,
Yeah, yeah. I don't mean to look too far ahead. I just hope that. I hope that Anderson doesn't turn into one of those guys that just he has to stick around, but we know. I mean, that's how this sport goes. It's a very, very difficult sport to walk away from.
Yeah, and especially you get these guys who love to fight. Yeah. That's why they're fan favorites. The guys who become the fan favorites are the guys who love to fight. The Chuck Liddells, the Anderson Silvas, and the list goes on, right? The Conor McGregors. And it's hard to walk away from that because they love it. And it's hard to walk away from the money.
Yeah. Let's switch gears real quick and look at a heavyweight title fight that the UFC just recently announced in May in Dallas. UFC 211 is going to be Stipe Miocic versus Junior Dos Santos, a rematch of a fight we saw in 2014, a great fight. I was there ringside. I've said it before. It was just one of those fights where you couldn't believe that it went 5 rounds. You were saying to the people around you after the first round, well, this thing's going to end very quickly, and then went the whole 25 minutes. How did you arrive at this one? Because I do think it caught some people by surprise that Junior was able to sneak his way up into a title fight right away.
Sneak his way up. Who do you think should have got the title fight before him?
Well, he'd had some injury issues, and he's only 1-1 since that win over Stipe. I think a lot of people were looking at Verdum, but Verdum, as you mentioned at UFC 207, was declining some fights. Is that kind of what happened here? Is that Verdum was sitting on the side and Junior took an opportunity?
Verdum was turning down fights we were offering him, and Verdum has never been what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't know. He's tough to deal with. And he was turning down fights. Junior Dos Santos is ready to roll, wants to fight, and always is willing to fight. So he got the fight.
Yeah. And then a report comes out of Brazil that they're targeting Verdum to fight Ben Rothwell on the same night at UFC 211. Can you confirm that yet? Has that been a targeted fight, or is it still in negotiations?
Yeah, I don't know where that's at. It's true, but I don't know where that's at.
Okay. Let's talk about another Brazilian, Jose Aldo, another guy we haven't seen for a little bit, and people are wondering where he's at. This is we're here at UFC 208 in Brooklyn, February 11th. I think everybody knows that it was a possibility that he was going to be fighting on this card. He's not. When are we going to see Jose Aldo again, and who's it going to be against?
Well, he's going to fight Max Holloway. That fight's done too. I don't remember what date it's on for, but yeah, it's done.
Wow. Is there anybody we can ask? Is there a way to get an answer to this question real quick? When's that thing going down?
No, nobody around me here to tell me that, but it's a done deal. We got that fight done. We got that fight done last week.
Well, that's a fantastic fight. I know we're looking way ahead now. We don't even know what card this fight's going to take place on, but what do you think of that matchup?
I like it. It's fun. That's a fun fight. Holloway has looked incredible, in his last few fights, and Jose Aldo is Jose Aldo.
Last topic we'll bring up, of course, is Conor McGregor. it seemed like he was doing his own thing in Manchester. He was making some cryptic comments about the UFC. You acknowledged them in Denver around that card, and saying that if he wanted to try and move forward in any kind of promotion of a fight, it would be an epic fall for him, or the words that you use. It sounds like you two have spoken since then. Is that correct? Have you spoken to Conor? How frequently? How recently? And what are those conversations like?
We haven't talked since then. We haven't talked. We haven't talked since then.
What can you tell us about the situation? It seems like we're kind of left. I do this podcast every week, and it seems like every week we're talking about what is Conor doing? What does this headline mean? What does that headline mean? How real is this Floyd Mayweather thing? Dana White's offering them money to do it in the UFC now and promote the fight, or at least co-promote a boxing match. What is all of this? Can you break it down?
What happened was Floyd said that he had made offers and all this other stuff, and I said no, he hasn't. Floyd hasn't made any offers. That's a crock of shit. And I said, here's a real offer. So I laid out the first offer.
And then how do you interpret what he said since? And what did your comment mean in Denver?
Who said since?
Well, when Conor during his interview said that.
What do you mean? What do I mean by it? Come on, know exactly what I mean by it.
Yeah. So I guess
you know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean, and you know exactly what was said and done, and it is where it is right now. He came out and said, I can do this without them. I guarantee you he can't do it without us. And, what I said was, I've always been respectful of Conor and the things he wants to do and everything else. But if he wants to go down that road, it will be an epic fall. Mm-hmm. And everybody knows exactly what that means. I don't think anything else needs to be said. That's it.
Sure. Yeah. I think last question I'll ask on this topic is, I think what's on most people's minds is, why can't you just talk about it to each other? And why do you think that takes place? Do you think it's just, is Conor difficult? Are you busy working on other stuff? And why not, if this situation is kind of out in the public, why do you think you guys haven't talked about it personally?
There's nothing really to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. Conor McGregor is under contract with the UFC. And, we will make him – he's out on maternity leave right now. And after his girl has the baby, we'll offer him another fight.
I think that is all the questions I got for you, except for, one curveball here. In the summer of 2016, so last summer, you said, I promise you one day the Fertittas will own an NFL team. And, recently there's been some developments with the Raiders in Las Vegas, and, there's been some money withdrawn, and it looks like they need some more funds coming from some kind of investor. And, Cowboy Cerrone's quote came to mind. If you're looking for a football fan with a little bit of money to invest, I know a guy. How close is Lorenzo Fertitta to owning an NFL team or getting involved in the NFL?
I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that. They will absolutely, positively own a team someday. And I don't know if they'd go in for a piece. I think if those guys are going to go in, they're going to go all in. Yeah. They're not the be a partner or silent partner kind of guys. They would. I think if they went into the NFL, they'd go all the way. But I honestly don't know the answer to that. I mean, if Lorenzo's out there making moves right now with the Raiders, which I don't believe he is, I don't know about it. What's funny is last night I was here, he called me, and I was in the shower, and when I got out, I hit him back, and he texted me, I'm in this meeting. I'll call you as soon as I get out. I need to talk to you. And then I never talked to him again.
I mean, is that kind of you guys have those kind of conversations every day that, hey, I'm in a meeting, I'll call you back, or is this gives you reason to think that he was in a kind of an important meeting there?
We talk 3 times a week. Yeah, it was weird that he was in a meeting and needed to talk to me about something, but I don't know. It couldn't have been too important, or he would have called me back.
Huh. Well, I guess I'll check back with you on that on Saturday and see if you've heard back from Lorenzo. And We'll be asking you a lot about, of course, what happens at UFC 208. Two really good, I think, main and co-main events. This is one of those cards where I don't know who's going to win either of those top two fights. Usually I think I have a prediction or an idea of the way the fight's going to go. I think both of those could really go either way, and to me, those are the best fights to watch. So we're looking forward to UFC 208. It's in Brooklyn at Barclays Center. We appreciate you stopping by the 5 Rounds podcast. Take some time to talk about it. Thank you very much, Dana. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, buddy. Take care.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye.